All right, here we are on the Metal Voice. What are we talking about, Alan? What are we talking
Hey,
about?
one of our favorite bands of all time, Sabaton, and the release of their animated film, The War to End All Wars, the movie.
Now available on for streaming on Amazon Prime, Apple TV, YouTube Movies. It was released just a few days ago, and we're going to give our quick review about this. What do we think about this, Alan? What do you think about it?
Yeah, I
Sabaton.
mean,
Where's that album? Where's that album
first
from?
of all,
Hold on, let me get the.
album of the year. That was my choice for album of the year back in 2022. Yeah, I love it. Love the album. Love the movie. It ties in nicely. You have this
Mhm.
letter that kind of floats from story to story, like the feather in Forrest Gump. And again, we've always had a special relationship with Sabaton. I mean, we kind of came up together, right? I mean, from their humble beginnings, opening for Accept on the Blood of Nations tour. And then I think Chris Rowland, one of his first interview ever was on the Metal Voice. And then to see them headlining arenas now, it's just a great progression. And so, again, the way that ties in all the songs, I love the songs, love the album, and the way that the videos all tie in to reflect the album, I thought was very interesting, very well done. And again, another bullet in the Sabaton arsenal, if I can use that reference. So,
You know what? Everything you said, spot on. I'll just give everybody a little more details.
right,
It's about 60 to 67 minutes
67
long.
minutes.
67 minutes long. From start to finish. It doesn't play it in order. It's the sequence of the years, like 1914, 1915. So this is actually not in the sequence.
Chronologic.
It's not chronological here, but the movie is. It's animated. There are a few moments at the end. I won't tell everybody where there is no animation. There's actually some. The band is actually or Joaquim is actually doing a cameo. Um, it's for the history. This is why Sabaton has managed to grow their band, because they're not just going the traditional route. Release a CD, go on a tour. Release a CD, go on tour. They're going into video games. I think they are. They're going into animated movies like this. They're going into war museums. They're using other avenues to get their message out, their historic message out, to educate the masses. And by pursuing all these different sort of roads, they've reached a mass appeal.
Yeah, and you forgot, you even mentioned the History Rocks charity initiative. I mean, you don't see many bands being this proactive, this what do you call it?
Facet.
Yeah, multifaceted, multi-dimensional, multi platforms. Marketing wise. I mean, these guys just don't do a tour and then go home and sit on their butts and write the next album. I mean, they're much more in depth. Just the history alone on each and every song that they've recorded is just fascinating. You want to pick up a history book the moment you hear a song and say, "Yeah, well, I want to learn a little bit more about that story," which is their raison d'être and why we love them so much. So
Just to some highlights in the movie for me: Christmas Truce is the
yeah,
story when the German, the French, and the British sort of. And this is like a known story, right? They sort of all got together in no man's land at this point in time. It's never really happened the same way ever again. And they just sort of celebrated Christmas together, and maybe they played some sports and some games and just had a Christmas cheer together. So to me, that song and the way they sort of it plays out in the movie, I thought it was really touching and at the same time inspiring. Maybe we should always be like that versus trying to kill each other.
right, right. I mean, I know again, each and every song, it's so well done and just a different way of doing things, a different way of presenting. The album came out in 2022, and this is being launched to like you said, multiple platforms for streaming. Only this, 3 years later. So, most people say that project is dead, put it aside, we'll go on to the next. And these guys are carrying it through, and it's very well done. The animation, I liked it. I mean, it's not CGI, right? I mean, it's not that Marvel Comics kind of animation. but it fits the story and it fits it well, and especially with the music that ties in obviously so well with the. It's like a vignette of all their videos for the album stuck into one movie for 67 minutes, right?
And I'll just toss in a couple of cool moments for me. Hellfighters is the 369th Regiment, which was basically the men of bronze. You know, they were under France, but they're actually Americans who were sort of black guys, the majority, with some Puerto Ricans, of guys of color, basically, who were Americans, but were sort of pushed off to fight, or in World War One. And you know what? I'm happy that sort of they got their day in the sun. And then you have the unkillable soldier, which is basically a British commander of sorts who just, no matter what, he loves war. He just loves war. And he's never he's been hurt so many times. I lost an arm, lost an eye, but he just keeps on going like the unstoppable man. And that
was probably the most Monty Python-esque part of the film, was that song and that video to go with that song too.
And my favorite is A Lady of the Dark, which is Milunka Savic, a female Serbian woman who her brother was supposed to be drafted, but he was sick. She took his place, disguised herself as a man, only to be found out later on, but she was like a beast of a fighter. So those are my favorite moments in the movie, and my favorite songs on the album.
Yeah, and again, we interviewed Joachim at that time when that album was released. I called it Sabaton's Operation Mindcrime. I love the album that much, and again, it was a sheer pleasure to watch this. I love the album so much, and now we got a visual aspect that ties into it, and you get, there's some stuff that you learn a little bit by watching the videos that you didn't really pick up on maybe just listening to the song. So that was another interesting facet as well. So.
All right, and that's it. That's pretty much it. You know what? It's streaming everywhere. Go watch it.
Check it out.
You'll learn something. And you know what? I'm happy that they've done this, because now it sits in the vaults where children who are growing up, they can learn about World War I while listening to Sabaton and having a good time. So it's an educational sort of experience, and I'm really happy they did this.
Learn your history, or else you're doomed to repeat it, right?
Absolutely. There you go.
All right.
The War to End All Wars, the movie.